Hello, this is Dustin Broombaugh, Director of Human Resources with Madison County Schools. We'll be completing training on your policies and procedures for the beginning of the school year. We would ask to make sure that you get credit for this, that you watch all the way through the duration of the entire training. That way, in our online system, it'll recognize that you did complete it. So if you were to click off of it prior to the end of it, the system won't recognize that you fully completed the training. So please watch the duration. Promise to make this as quick and easy on you as possible, but yet yes, still be effective as possible. Here are the different areas that we will cover today with classified evaluations, employee absences, confidentiality, harassment, discrimination, grievances, incidents and claim reporting, workers' comp, drug and alcohol-free workplace, board policies, technology AUP, duty report, duty free lunch and overtime, home visits, and school safety. First thing is we want to make everyone aware of our online board policies and where they can find them at this website. Would encourage you to save this web address in your favorites. You do not need a username or a password to be able to view it. Once you click on that icon, it'll take you to this website here. Once again, no password or username or anything like that needed. All Madison County Schools board policies and procedures are listed here. So a couple different ways you can do this. Go by chapters to find the different headings. I'm going to go into personnel. And here, if you wanted to look up, something for a certified employee who have questions about transferring their tenure. Here you can find the board policy that talks about that, or any of the KRS statutes that it refers to. Another way, probably the most common way, if you go up to the top and just search the entire manual. If we were looking up 10 years, we just did there, and clicked enter, you go down to the policies, and it'll pull up any policy that talks about tenure. And obviously, this is the one that we just viewed as well. So either one would work. But once again, here's where you'd find the Madison County Schools board policies. All right, employee absences. Every absence, we ask that you enter into our substitute placement system called ASOP. Simply go to the district website and click ASOP on the left-hand side. We'll also remind you that anytime you take an absence, there's also a paper form you need to complete for sick days, an off day for classified employees, and then personal day and emergency days. Please complete those forms as always, as well as put those in ASOP. And once again, go to the district website, scroll down to the left and find ASOP. Here, if you have any questions, you can contact Melba. Here's where you would click to enter in those absences, and remind you there are a few different videos if you have some questions, if you're a substitute or if you are an employee, on how to enter in any of those. So you click here, take you to the ASOP website, and here you enter your PIN and ID and log in. And from there, you can go enter any absence that you might have. Confidentiality requirements. Every employee of a Kentucky Public School District must adhere to confidentiality protection of all students. Confidentiality is protection of personally identifiable data and information, and its requirements also apply to discussions about a student and the student's records. Some examples might be personal or family information, progress reports and work samples, information stored on cell phones and emails, as well as discipline records. Emails, text, and telephone issues. We ask that you never include students' names, teacher names, or specific grades in an email or text, because you never really know who's on the other end. If you do speak with someone over the telephone, make sure that they are who they say they are. Before you were to discuss any information that might be confidential over the phone or through an email. Harassment and discrimination. Unlawful behavior based on the race, color, national origin, age, religion, sex, or disability of an employee. This can create a climate of hostility or intimidation. Harassment and discrimination can be brought forth by language, conduct, or symbols conveying hatred, and it can come from the same or opposite sex. There's zero tolerance for this in Madison County. Harassment discrimination is prohibited at all times on and off school property, as well as during school-sponsored events. Our rules also apply to visitors. Employees who engage in harassment or discrimination of another employee or student shall be subject to a disciplinary action, including, but not limited to, termination of employment. This can also be prohibited conduct of using nicknames, slurs, stories, jokes, or written materials that are lewd, vulgar, or profane. This includes unwanted touching, sexual advances and requests, implied or overt threats of physical violence, as well as involving individuals with disabilities and antisocial, dangerous, or criminal activity. If you feel you have been a victim of harassment or discrimination, please complete the board-approved form. You can find that on the board policies and procedures on the website that I showed you a moment ago, or you can contact the administrator in your building or department, or if all else fails, you can reach out to me, Dustin Broombaugh, Director of Human Resources. We can provide you the correct procedures and forms. Obviously, if the administrator that you report to is the one that is harassing or discriminating you, we would ask that you skip over them and come directly to me. All right, grievances. A grievance is a violation of a policy, rule, or procedure. They're individual in nature and must be brought forth by the individual grievant. Just like harassment and discrimination, there is a form that we'd ask you to complete. You can get that from your administrator. Obviously, if that administrator is the one that you feel like is not following that policy or rule or procedure, skip over them and come directly to me, Dustin Broombaugh. Incidents and claims. Any workers' compensation issues or questions, please report those to Gina Hall. If you have any general liability, legal liability, auto claims, or property claims, you can direct those to Beth Nowlin. Workers' compensation. If always fully complete the first report of injury form if you are injured while at work. Complete that form. What we do is you'll take that, submit that to your secretary in your office or department. They will submit that for you after it's fully completed. They'll take that to your administrator because there is an administrative portion on that form to be completed, as well as any witnesses that may have seen you, that witnessed you getting injured, have a portion they may have to complete. But once that form is fully completed, they'll send that off to Gina Hall, and then Gina Hall will send that off to KEME. They are our workers' compensation people that oversee all of this. They will send that off. Basically, for example, if you fall and you hurt your back a little bit, not a huge injury, we still would ask you to fill out that complete workers' comp first report of injury form to be sent off. If you feel that you need to go get treated and looked at, go to occupational medicine or emergency room as necessary, please do so. Obviously, your safety is important to us. But if you feel like, listen, I feel like I'm okay, I'd like to wait and see how things are, filling out that report and sending it off, that'll cover you in the future if you were to have any events or injuries that were to follow up, that were to occur in the future. So it's not 100% necessary that you go get treated for it immediately, obviously unless you feel like you need to. But completing the form is necessary. Going to get treated, we'll defer that to you or your administrator if you need to or not. But we do ask that you only go when necessary, but complete the form, and that'll cover you in the future. Some other risk management areas, identifying slips, trips, or fall hazards. Obviously wear safety shoes or just shoes with good traction. Use ladders. Do not stand on chairs. Just safe lifting practices and things like that. A lot of our injuries that occur at work, I would say 80 or 90% of them are slips, trips, and falls. So simple things as wet areas, identifying those, using handrails on stairs, things like that. Many of the injuries can be prevented. You shall not manufacture, distribute, purchase, use, or be under the influence of alcoholic beverages, controlled substance, or prescription drugs, which unduly impact the performance of your duties while at work. Dealing with technology and our acceptable use policies. Everyone with district email and internet access must follow our technology policies and procedures. Email is not a conversation between two or more people. It is evidence, and it is open to open records requests. Please be aware that your activities on district technology are being monitored, and professional judgment goes a long way on how you use these. Duty to report per KRS 620.030. If you know or have reasonable cause to believe that a child is dependent, neglected, or abused, you shall immediately make a report to your supervisor unless the supervisor is the part of the problem. You are subject to criminal prosecution if you do not report. Obviously, an administrator, a guidance counselor, someone to report that to, and it is very, we ask you to use caution and report those to the correct authorities if you feel like someone or a student has been neglected or abused. Duty-free lunch and overtime. Duty-free lunch time is assigned by the supervisor. Kentucky labor laws indicates that the lunch should be a reasonable period of time. Typically in Madison County, anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes is usually the minimum amount of time that we ask that an employee get for lunch. No work shall be performed during lunch. We ask you to take your lunch away from the assigned workspace. Work hours can also be adjusted by your supervisor at any time. And overtime requires prior permission from your supervisor or the superintendent or designee. Home visitation procedures, you can refer to Board Policy 03.141 for those. An employee shall carry with them proper identification during a home visit. They shall be dressed in professional appropriate attire and arrive prepared with information and a plan for sharing it, and observe basic confidentiality standards when both sharing and gathering information for the home visit. There is a home visit video or DVD that you shall watch before each year before making a home visit, and you can access those by contacting Randy Neely or Beth Nallen in our Director of People Personnel office, and as well as sign the acknowledgement for the training. There's some different safety protocols that we ask that you follow. We ask that you let someone know and sign out in your building or department prior to making a home visit. Signing out, just documenting where you're going, what time it is, what you're doing, and just letting someone know where you're going so that if you were not to come back, that someone might be aware of that. Also to be aware of your surroundings when you make a home visit. Once inside, look around for exits and be aware of what's going on around you. Watch for signs of immediate violence, such as nonverbal indicators as a body language, mannerisms, voice level. Maybe something might be coming to a hostile level. If that is the case, we do ask you that you remove yourself from that situation and go ahead and leave. We ask when you do arrive that you identify yourself and your title and what school or district that you're with and the reason that you're there. Leave if you fear that your safety is in question, and notify the police or administrator if you feel like something illegal has taken place while on that home visit. We ask some professional courtesy be given and try to let that parent or guardian know ahead of time of when you are and will be attending. Please do not go on a home visit alone. Be aware of any cautious animals, as in dogs or anything like that might be in the surroundings. If you're not familiar with the area, obviously take a map or use a Garmin or something like that. Take a cell phone and have it handy with you if you are around. And once again, just make sure and be aware of any safety concerns that you might have. Use some good caution and have some safety. Safe schools. All buildings are required to adopt a plan to include procedures to follow in case of fire, severe weather, earthquake, or lockdown. The principal administrator shall discuss the plan with all school staff prior to the first instructional day. The plan must have a floor plan with the facility. We ask that the administrators and the team at each building invite first responders, as in police department, fire department, and others, to review that emergency management plan, and that have a floor plan for the first responders to review and get their feedback. You shall establish primary and secondary evaluation routes for all rooms. It must be posted in all rooms and doorways for the evacuation, and identify severe weather and safe zones that would be the most appropriate areas in the building to go if there were severe weather. We asked that each building develop procedures for visitors with visitor tags, check-in ID. When they enter the building, they should state their purpose for the visit. So school procedures for a visitor badge, whether it be a badge or a sticker that they wear, and that we ask visitors to log in, signing who they are, why they're there, and signing in and out times. Your plan must be adopted by your school's site-based council. And just as for reference, please know that this emergency plan is not allowed to be disclosed for open records requests. School safety drills, there is policy, procedures, and laws in place that fire drills, that at least 2 of these happen the first 2 weeks of the school year, and 1 each calendar month while school's in session. Tornadoes, at least 1 during the first 30 days of instruction and 1 in January, and the same is for earthquakes and lockdowns. We will have a CSIP drill, typically takes place in Madison County in September, but that date has not been confirmed at this time. Evaluation documents. All evaluation documents are on the Madison County Schools website. By going to the district website, clicking on Human Resources, and then Evaluation Documents. Like I just said, district website, the top right, click on Departments, then Human Resources, then Evaluation Documents. Here, all the evaluation documents for certified and classified employees are available. Certified takes up the large majority of the page at the top, and then classified employees down here are the forms and the plan for you. Certified employees, here's the evaluation plan, some different details for a corrective action plan, a professional growth plan, some information that KDE puts out. And then depending on what role you are in for certified employees, for teachers, here are all the different forms that you might use. Others that fall under the other professionals, here are the different forms and the sub-evaluation form for that. Principals, here are the forms that you can use. And then as well as the other administrators, here's the instrument that you use. So for classified employees, Board Policy 03.28 indicates that all classified personnel shall be evaluated 1 time by April 30th of each year. This evaluation shall be performed by the principal or immediate supervisor and shall be based upon a formal procedure that's developed by the superintendent. Here are the procedures. The evaluation shall be based on the board-approved forms, which I'll go through in just a moment. The evaluator shall share and discuss the evaluation report with the employee. The report shall be signed and dated by the evaluator and you, the employee. The employee shall be given a copy of the completed evaluation form, all documents with it at the end of the evaluation. The employee has the ability to make any comments that he or she would like to include on the evaluation form, and a signed copy of the evaluation form, just a 1 paper, shall be reported and sent to central office on or before April 30th. I just went through everything here. Once again, April 30th is when the evaluation shall be completed and signed and dated and sent off to central office. All classified personnel shall have an annual orientation, which is what I'm doing right now with you on this. And if you're a new employee, that should happen within the first 30 days. Here are the different people that evaluate right here and who is evaluated. For example, custodians for the most part are evaluated by the principal in that building unless you work in a certain department. Here are the rest of those. The evaluators shall be trained once yearly. And for a classified employee, any employee dissatisfied with a rating, they can appeal the evaluation as found in the Madison County's grievance policy. So if you wanted to pursue that, you would need to complete a grievance. Likewise, classified employees, I just went through the plan. Here's the form. The first 3 pages of the form is some simple details: name, where you work, what school year it is, what job position that you're in. And then there are 3 different standards. Standard 1 is the general performance. This entails the services that you provide within the school or department, community, education profession to improve student learning and well-being. The administrator will go through and mark M for meets, the D and M for does not meet, or NA for not applicable. They'll complete all of those. Standard 2 is the specific job performance. They'll go through and complete all of those. And then the third standard is the personal characteristics that demonstrate positive personal interactions with staff and students. And the administrator evaluating you will go through and complete all of those. They will likely have some comments that they make, either positive or negative, but you are given the opportunity to make any comments that you would like here. And then when everything is done, both you and your administrator will both sign and date when you discuss this. And then the last page, the 4th page, is the one when it's fully completed. A copy should be sent to central office. Likewise, at the top, who you are, what you do, where you do it. Just kind of overall for the 3 standards, if you met those or not, and then the overall rating, if you meet that or not. Likewise, the evaluator has some ability to make some comments, as well as you have some the ability to make those. And then they'll determine if you meet or do not meet the standards for reemployment. And then at that time, the evaluator and yourself will both sign and date that. Classified employees have the right to appeal the substance or the procedures of this summit evaluation within 5 working days. Signatures indicate that the written evaluation has been reviewed and discussed by the evaluator and the evaluatee. Once again, all 4 pages of this should be, a copy should be given to you at the end of everything. And then the last page, the summit evaluation, will be sent to the board office on or before April the 30th. Just went over the classified evaluation plan. This concludes everything. Thank you for what you do for the students in Madison County, and if you have any questions or concerns, or if I can help you in any way, please let me know. Dustin Broombaugh, Director of Human Resources with Madison County Schools, at the email address or phone number below. Thank you.